The board of Tesla wants to pay Elon Musk $1 trillion. Yes, that's a 1 followed by 12 zeros. But of course, there are some strings attached. Hello, I'm Grant, and welcome back to Phrasal Verb News, where we use real stories to learn phrasal verbs and idioms in context. First, I'll go over the story to introduce the vocab and context. Then, I'll explain the new words, give examples, practice questions, y también les doy una breve explicación en español para que quede más claro. All right, so let's get into this $1 trillion bonus. Here's how it works. Musk could receive up to 12% of Tesla stock over the next 10 years, but only if he hits massive performance targets or milestones. But why would they offer this plan in the first place? Well, Elon has a lot of balls in the air. Or, in other words, he has a lot of things on his plate outside of Tesla, like SpaceX, Twitter, and politics. The board has even said in a public statement that they'd like him to wind down his involvement in politics, which, if you think about it, makes sense, since Tesla's stock dropped more than 40% when Musk was heavily involved in Doge and other political endeavors. It's since recovered, but not 100%. Now, let's talk about the conditions. The compensation would be released in tranches. This is a finance word meaning kind of levels or portions. Each tranche is tied to or connected to milestones. Most of them are about market capitalization, the value of the company. The first milestone is $2 trillion, double its current value. And the final milestone is $8.5 trillion, which would make Tesla the most valuable company in the history of the world. Yes, it's quite ambitious. Other milestones include delivering 20 million vehicles, launching 1 million self-driving taxis, and producing 1 million humanoid robots. But to me, the most interesting part is what they call the vesting period, or colloquially, the golden handcuffs. So, even if Musk hits the targets early, he can't touch the money right away. He has to wait 7.5 years for the first payout and 10 years for the full amount. And if he leaves Tesla before then, he gets nothing. That's why they call it the golden handcuffs. It's a lot of money, but you can't go anywhere. It's a way to motivate CEOs to perform well, but also keep them locked into the company. Let's move on to the vocab. And remember, I'll give you the explanation, an example, and a question. Try to answer the question in your head or out loud so you can practice the vocab right away. Let's get started. First, we have strings attached. These are extra conditions or requirements hidden in an offer. For example, Musk's $1 trillion package has strings attached. He only gets it if he hits certain massive targets. In advertising, it's very common for companies to say this is a no strings attached offer, which means we're giving you this deal and you don't have to buy anything, you don't have to give us your email, you don't have to do anything. This is a no strings attached offer. En español es como condiciones ocultas. Por ejemplo, el contrato parecía bueno, pero tenía muchas condiciones ocultas. And a question. Have you ever accepted an offer that had strings attached? How'd it turn out? Next, we have balls in the air or things on your plate. Both of these expressions mean that you have a lot of responsibilities or tasks at the same time. Think about a juggler with 3 balls. He's throwing them up and he has a lot of balls in the air, so he's very distracted. Or imagine you have a big plate with lots of food on it. You have lots of things to do. So both of these metaphors are quite easy to remember if you think about the story behind it. But anyway, the board worries that Elon has too many balls in the air with his other company. Our manager has too many things on his plate and can't focus on priorities. En español es como tener muchas cosas a la vez. Por ejemplo, tengo demasiadas cosas en el aire y no sé por dónde empezar. And a question. Do you work better when you have a lot of balls in the air or when you can focus on one thing? Next, we have wind down. This means to reduce activity or gradually stop something. For example, the board asked Musk to wind down his political involvement. We decided to wind down operations in that market after the losses. En español es como reducir o ir cerrando. Por ejemplo, decidieron reducir operaciones en ese país. And a question. What's something in your work or life you'd like to wind down? We also say wind down when we're talking about getting ready to go to bed. For example, I like to read a good book to wind down before going to sleep. And finally, we have tied to. This means connected with or dependent on something. For example, each tranche of Musk's compensation is tied to specific performance metrics. If he doesn't hit the metrics, he doesn't get the money. Employee bonuses are tied to sales targets. En español es como vinculado a o condicionado por. Por ejemplo, los bonos de los empleados están vinculados a las metas de ventas. And a question, is your compensation tied to any performance goals or KPIs? So to wrap up, Tesla's trillion-dollar plan has plenty of strings attached, and the board worries Musk has too much on his plate. They want him to wind down distractions and focus fully on Tesla. The package itself comes with a set of golden handcuffs. Huge rewards, but only if he stays put for a whole decade and pulls off the impossible. Gracias por escuchar. I'm Grant with Phrasal Verb News. Come back tomorrow for more stories, more idioms, and more English. Thank you.